Any last closing remarks that you all would like to leave the viewers with as pertains to this topic around teen mental health awareness?
Because I'm going to sound like a broken record, but living in community and, becoming a part of a local church and being in community is an awesome way to kind of bring everyone closer together in tackling this issue. But I know that at Shiloh House, they even have some parent support groups and different groups that parents could benefit from. And I'd like you to share those too.
Yeah, of course. Well, we also have our own support line at Shiloh House. That's a statewide support line where if a family calls in and just kind of talks about whatever it is that they're struggling with, we really want to help them divert to what's the best program. So whether it's a parent support group, just to be able to talk about whatever's going on, whether it's parenting classes, or if we don't provide the service, we direct it to other community-based resources so that parents, again, can just get the right resources at the right time. And so, yes, thank you for mentioning that. I think also that what I would add is I believe very strongly in giving grace to each other. And I think that our society is very quick to judge. And I think very quick to judge those who are struggling with mental health. And that's not helping the situation. And so I just encourage as a parent, give yourself grace, give your child grace, kids give their parents grace, and really, again, as we lean into community and how to support each other, giving each other grace, I think, can go a long way in actually tackling mental health, because it gives us the opportunity to step back and realize that we're all just doing the best that we can. And I think that that's what a lot of parents need and a lot of our kids.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, Molly, thank you for the plug for Grace Council.
Oh, it was a natural progression for you.
I don't know if that was intentional or not. One thing that I would like to add is teens are awesome, right? I think we have to remember that if you invest, they're fun, they're spontaneous, they're creative, they're way less boring than we are. And so one of the things I like to say is I may be getting older, but at least I'm still immature. And so I think sometimes we can get caught up in what we need to do for teens, but we can learn a lot from them as well. So being able to invest in them and to celebrate them, see their potential, and have fun and laugh and be silly with them when that's appropriate. That's one thing that I just want to make sure we're communicating is our teens are awesome. And if we invest in them, I mean, you talked a minute ago about, thinking with the end in mind. We better care for our teens well, because one day they're going to care for us.
Right.
So that should be a good motivator.
Maybe there are some that are listening or family members that have teens that are a part of other communities and they don't go to church every day. Can you all talk a little bit about what are some of those other communities that they can be a part of, but also be responsible and take responsibility for being aware of potential signs and indicators that there may be something off? Can you all speak to a little bit more about what are some of those other community offerings that people can ultimately get involved in, and how would you define that? What does that community look like?
Right. If you're not in a situation where those things are happening organically, like if you're a part of a local church, that's happening organically. But if that's not where you would find those organic groups of community, like just putting a neighborhood group together of the parents that live in your neighborhood, and maybe your kids are growing up together, and just trying to get on the same page with other parents and talking openly about some of the things that kids and teens are struggling with. And you can draw everybody into that group. It doesn't just have to be other parents, but I'm sure you guys have some great ideas as well.
Lots of options in the community. If you have a kid, they're going to school or they're involved in something much of the time, right? Community could be the other parents from the sports team or from the theater group or from the musical production you're part of. Schools obviously have communities. So I think parents often are a little bit arm's length, but engaging in schools and PTO organizations, things like that. Those are places where you can pursue and find it. I think we talk about it like it's easy. I don't think it's easy to find community. I think it requires intentionality and purpose. So there are a lot of different ways to find it, but you have to look for it sometimes. Like you said, if it doesn't happen organically, are you willing to take that risk and step out of your comfort zone to pursue and find it?
Yeah, and I would just add whatever your interests are. We encourage our youth to get into their hobbies, but I think the parents and adults without children need to get into their hobbies and create communities through whatever it is that you're enjoying. I think there also can be a lot of community found in choosing to volunteer at agencies, at different nonprofits, whether that's going down to Denver Rescue Mission and serving in the kitchens there, or being able to do a cleanup day for a different nonprofit. There's so many nonprofits to give back to, and there's a lot of times groups of volunteers that want to do that together or will be paired together. And so if it's not a hobby, but it's a way to give back, you can be able to find community in that as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Well, Marie, Molly, Mike, thank you so much for being here today. We have the 3 M's tackling mental health, another M. But it's been such a pleasure having this conversation, this very important conversation. And we're excited to continue to steward conversations just like this around other issues in the community. So thank you so much for the incredible work that you are doing each and every day for our community and the important work that your organizations are doing to help address this very important topic around mental health and making sure that our teens, our communities are valued, are loved, and that they continue to thrive in our everyday lives. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to having more of these conversations together and hopefully having you join us again soon. Thank you.